You know what? I was just talking away. Okay, guys, what's up? What's up? What's up? It's your girl, Brandy Janae, and I am back with another video. Okay, you can tell by the title, we are talking Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Okay, they are on season 14, and the reunion part one just aired this past week. And so that is what we're going to be discussing on this video. Now, we're going to start off with acknowledging the fact that Garcelle has announced her exit from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So we already know that Garcelle is not returning to Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So let me just tell y'all what had happened. What had happened was they filmed the reunion, honey, and Garcelle was PO'd. Okay? She left, and I guess she quit then, right? So here's Garcelle on the finale day, the day that Real Housewives of Beverly Hills aired their finale episode. This is the day that Garcelle announced her exit. And so we are going to look at her video and see her exit.
Hey
Okay.
guys, so I have some news.
Let's see, y'all. Let's see. Let me remove some stuff. There we go.
I've decided to leave Beverly Hills. It's been a wild ride. I mean, some amazing things have happened, and some hard things have also happened, but it's been a ride nevertheless. One of the reasons why I'm leaving is my family, my boys. Their last year of high school is next year, and I want to be a part of that. And Jade is starting a new career, and I want to be a part of that too. And secondly, I have the most exciting projects that I am developing, producing, and acting in. I can't tell you anything right now, but you'll know soon. I just want to say thank you to Andy Cohen, to Bravo, NBC Universal, Evolution, 32 Flavors, the producers, the crew, and of course, the ladies. Andy Cohen says I can come back anytime. The door will always be open. So you never know. I might pop back in sometime. To the fans, I want to say thank you so much. You guys have cheered me on, supported me, and sometimes even fought for me or on my behalf. It means a lot. And I hope you guys will continue on this journey with me. It's not goodbye. It's see you later. So see you later.
Okay, so that is Garcelle with her announcement that she is leaving Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Of course, I have a separate video discussing that, or a short. I may attach it to this video, or you can go find it. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and make sure you like this video. Okay, I am trying to reach 1,000 subscribers, so I'm so close. So if you can help me out with that, it will be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much. Um, so like I said, I did a separate short addressing Garcelle's exit. Of course, we're going to miss her. I really, really, really and was excited when Garcelle joined the cast back in 2019, I believe it was. And two things, she did join before all of the like rush to diversify all the cast, before that whole thing really happened. Even though I do think her being added to that cast was an attempt to diversify that cast, because there had been conversation around Real Housewives of Beverly Hills not having an African American cast member. And so I think that was an attempt, but I was really excited about her entrance into the show. Garcelle has done very well with the problems that she's had with the girls. She has stuck it out. We are sad to see her leave, but here's the thing. When I saw that, I didn't really know what was going on. Now, later on, when I listened to Kempire and his podcast, I got a little bit of tea. However, I totally understood just because I've been watching her these 5 seasons, and I understand. Like, it's about time, right? Even though with the entrance of Bozema, I think we all had this idea that maybe we would see them band together and just kind of, be the black girls that rock, right? Speaking of Bozema, Bozema did have a Instagram post responding to the announcement that Garcelle made that she was leaving. I have put that up on the stage. Let me pull this up really quick so I'll read to you what she said. So it says, to Garcelle, for your pioneering bravery and grace in 5 seasons of RHOBH, well done. I wish we had more time together on this platform to continue showing the world that both of us can exist in the same place with different offerings and different opinions and besties, but still find a way to resolve our differences without tearing the world apart. And that we're able to shine bright together and individually too. You are leaving on your terms, and while I'm disappointed by your exit, it is commendable. I'm wishing you even greater success onward. With respect, always, Bose. Okay, so that's Bo's Instagram post to Garcelle addressing her exit. And while it sounds sweet and cute, Bozema is a marketing like genius. She's worked for multiple companies over the years in a short period of time and all in marketing departments. So this girl knows what she's doing and she's smart. She's worked for Pepsi, Netflix, I think Uber or Lyft, one or the other, just some major hard hitting companies. And so I felt like this was really kind of like just kind of fluff, right? I didn't necessarily, because I watched this season, okay? Even though I didn't do reviews all season, I'm only doing reunions until we can get the 1,000 subscribers. So make sure you subscribe to this channel. Anyway, I just really looked at it as fluff. I watched this season, and so I did not see them bond. It was interesting to me the way that she kind of express that, because I wonder, where was that at? I don't know. Drop down in the comments and you tell me what you think. Did I miss something? Did we see Bozema and Garcelle bond at all? We saw Bozema bond, but we'll get to that later. But I don't think it was with Garcelle. So this was a little odd, but hey, now this is even odder, okay? Now, mind you, all of this is taking place before this first episode airs. So, with that being said, it's a ball of confusion, okay? Again, we don't see Bozema and Garcelle bond during the season. We do see Garcelle have a cryptic post about all skin folk is not kinfolk, and then here is Bozema with this post when Garcelle announces her exit, and the post is just full of like sisterhood and you go girl, and I'm so sorry, it's not gonna be us, but it's okay, right? Okay. Now let's take a listen, okay? Because guess who happens to be on Watch What Happens Live that evening? It is none other than Erica Jane and Bozema St. John, both cast members to Garcelle. And again, they just finished filming the reunion, okay? Filming. This is the day that the last episode of the season aired. Okay, so this is last week. Okay, that because the episode aired this week. So this is last week. Okay, just to keep you in the time loop. In the time loop. All right, so we're gonna listen. I'm not gonna play it on the screen, but we're just gonna listen to Erica Jane and Bozema St. John on Watch What Happens Live when Andy wants to get their reaction to the announcement that Garcelle is leaving. And so here we go. Listen up.
It started today, finale day, with Garcelle's announcement that she was departing from the show. Thoughts on that announcement, ladies? You have no thoughts on it? Neither of you?
Erica, say something.
You say something. You say something.
Look, I mean, look.
Won't he do it?
Ooh,
And that's an inside joke.
Okay. Well, I mean, look, I am disappointed that she is departing like this. I wish that she would have stuck around to work out another season.
Okay. Well, I think the viewers are probably saying departing like what? You mean after the reunion?
Yeah, after the reunion.
Got it. Okay.
I mean, you were there. Did
I don't think
you?
that's a high note.
Well, I also, like, when we were at the reunion, and I know that she was upset, and obviously we've known that she's quit for 2 weeks, okay? We knew this. But when you were there, I didn't understand.
You knew that she quit. I didn't know that she quit for 2. No. When she left the reunion. No. When she left the reunion, I wasn't totally sure. She and I had a conversation here last week.
But she did not take the cast photo with us.
Right. That is true.
So,
Yes.
So that is a clear indication that I am leaving.
Okay, so that's what Erica Jane and Bozeman St. John had to say that evening of Garcelle's announcement that she is leaving Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Now, guess what? Even more confusing, right? Like, what happened on that stage? That's what we all want to know. Well, it aired, okay? And let me tell you something. Garcelle was not prepared for what she walked into. It is so understandable how she ended up leaving this show. And again, especially coupled with the history that she's had in these 5 years. Oh my goodness. I know she thought it was going to be easy breezy. Look, check this out. Look at the seating chart. Look at the seating chart. Garcelle is second to last. Now, we all know that the Housewives seating chart, Married to Madison is a little different. I think Jackie and Simone are usually always next to Andy. That doesn't really change very much. I think every so often we've seen maybe Simone's seat shift. I think. But generally, most of the housewives, how the seating chart really goes is it's kind of based upon who's had the most conflict storyline, the most kind of what's happening going on that season. Okay, so we see sitting next to Andy on both sides is Kyle and Dorit. And I mean, that fits, right? Kyle and Dorit sitting next. Kyle is going through a separation / divorce. She may or may not be dating this young lady named Morgan, who is a country singer. We saw her last season, and we're not allowed to talk about her this season, that girl. So, yeah, Kyle has first chair. Dorit is sitting opposite to Kyle on the opposite side. And yeah, Dorit is going through a separation from PK / headed into divorce. And she has no friends. And she is trying to find her way. And so, and her and Kyle has had a bunch of conflict that they are trying to resolve. But it just doesn't seem to be getting there. So she is first chair on the opposite side. So second chair, we have Sutton and Bozeman. Now, listen, for the rest of the cast, as far as Sutton, Bozeman, Garcelle, Erica, and then Jennifer Tilly and Kathy Hilton. Now, Jennifer Tilly and Kathy Hilton are friends of the show. So they always have last chair because I mean, we're gonna check in with them, but they don't really have much of a storyline that we're following, i.e. Shamia Morton, as we see much more of her life this season on Real Housewives of Atlanta because she is a full-time peach holder. Anyway, so when it comes to the other 4 housewives, there really is not a bunch of storyline. Erica is not really talking very much about what is up with Tom. We know he is did he go to trial already? I know he was found guilty And I think at this point, Erica might be facing some type of lawsuits allegedly. That she is possibly coming back next season because she might have some stuff that the girls are gonna poke around about with her. But this season they was giving her a break, honey. Bozema is new to the group. She's a new housewife. So her story was just really getting to know everybody and us learning a little bit more about her. How did I like Bozema this season? I started off going up for Bozema, but throughout the season, I started to kind of give her a little side eye. Now, allegedly, and I heard somewhere on these YouTube streets, I don't know how true this is, but I've heard that Bozema and her career, she kind of has a reputation for not really being that sisterly the way that she represents herself. And that when she is kind of in a group of, let's say, mixed or diverse people, she seems to gravitate to she seems to gravitate to the other to the other, okay, not the black hand side but the other side. That now legend, and I heard that on the YouTube streets. So again, I don't know how true that is, but looking at her and Garcelle and their interaction and then her interaction with Dorit, I'm giving her the side eye. Okay, but I'm going up for both of them because I'm gonna go up for us all the time. Like I'm just gonna go up for us until you show me otherwise. So at this point, Bozema is cool, but again, her having the second seat, I mean, really, it's kind of like what do you call it? Like a crapshoot. And Sutton has some. She has some things going on because she's always into it. Her and Dorit are back and forth. And I think her and Erica have been trying to get along, but they still seem to butt heads because that's what Sutton does. She is going to ruffle a feather. Okay. If like, listen, look up ruffle feathers in the dictionary, thesaurus, or wherever you go look that up at, and you're gonna see Miss Sutton's face. Please understand, because she gonna ruffle some feathers. But I think the seating chart was reasonable and appropriate. However, like I'm saying, Garcelle sitting all the way basically on the end. She not thinking she getting any smoke, honey. And babe, somebody should have told her to put on her bulletproof vest because they came for her. And I'm talking wasted no time. They wasted zero time. I know Garcelle was totally blindsided. Okay, but before we get into what happened on this first part, we are going to go through the reunion looks. Okay, so I want you to drop down in the comments and you tell me, what did you think about everybody's look this reunion? We're going to do a rating from 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, of course. And we're not going to go in any particular order. I am just going to go ahead and pull them up. Okay. All right, so first let's start off with Miss Kathy Hilton. Okay, so listen, I believe the theme may have been something like goddess or gold. I can't even remember, to be quite honest. And I've been told that Beverly Hills usually does not have a theme, which makes a lot of sense because they all kind of look like they always going somewhere different. Anyway, this year everybody seems to be in color coordinated. Like they all look very nice and put together, right? So here's Kathy Hilton. Kathy Hilton is friend of. Kathy Hilton is wife to I think his name is Richard Hilton, but yes, he is the guy who owns Hilton hotels and Paris Hilton's dad. But listen, Kathy Hilton looks nice. Kathy is not about to put too much effort into doing anything. We are lucky that she got up out her bed and made it to the reunion. Okay, so we are going to give Kathy a 5. Okay, because I mean, look, it's age appropriate. Kathy is not flashy. I mean, but it looks like you could be, I don't know. We don't know exactly where she's going. It kind of looks like an upscale nightgown. I mean, listen, again, we lucky she got out the bed and made it. So we're gonna give her a 5. That's 5 for effort. Okay. Next to the stage, we are going to look at Dorit. Dorit always looks pretty nice. Sometimes her hair choices can be a little bit thrown off, i.e., that little swoop she came in with. Was that last season or season before? Yeah, go throw that in the trash. But this is nice. It's simple. It's nice. I made a note to notice that Dorit is kind of, I mean, she's still doing her dressing thing, but it's not as extravagant as it has been. I mean, I guess reasonably so. She's going through a divorce. PK is probably tightened up the purse strings. But Dorit looks nice here. So when we rate it from 1 to 10, I think I'm gonna give Dorit about a 7. Yeah, I'm gonna give her about a 7. It looks nice. I like the hair. I like the jewelry, understated, but nice. Yeah, we're gonna give her about a 7. 7 for Dorit. Now, next we're going to look at Jennifer Tilly. Okay, we know Jennifer Tilly got that moolah. Yes, yes, she got that moolah. Um, Jennifer Tilly won a portion of The Simpsons in her divorce. So that lady is taken care of. And listen, I like her dress. Jennifer Tilly has her own style, her own personality. I feel like even though I remember reading through or listening to who they had on and like the jewelry, I think that in this picture you really can't tell, but she has on like quite a few pieces of jewelry, and you would think that it would look really gaudy. However, I mean, it looks nice. Jennifer Tilly did a big one with this one. Again, she's a friend to the show. She don't really have to do much, but I think she did. I think she did fine. We're gonna give her a 7. I'm gonna give her a 7. Yeah, Dorit probably is not doing as good as she used to because I feel like Dorit should have got higher. But yeah, we're gonna give her a 7 with Dorit. I think she actually did try, unlike Miss Kathy Hilton. Okay, so next up, we are going to take a look at Sutton. Sutton looks nice. I mean, this looks like any dress you could go to David's Bridal and find. I'm sure that it is not. I'm sure that some luxury designer made this for Sutton. As to Sutton got that moolah too. She is getting a nice, hefty um alimony check from her husband or ex-husband. But listen, the dress is just nice for me. The dress is just nice. Sutton's quirky, but unlike Jennifer Tilly knows that she's quirky. It's her thing, and she's like, "Hey, I'm gonna be me. Like it, love it. We don't give a damn. I'm still gonna be me when I wake up tomorrow." Sutton, she knows that, but she's not quite comfortable with that just yet. So listen, we're gonna give Sutton a 6. Just because I mean it's nice. It's not horrible. It's not horrible. Tell me what you think. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Help me get to those 1,000 subscribers. I would really appreciate it. Okay, let's move on to the next one. So next up to the screen, we have Bozoma. Okay, Bozoma St. John, honey. Yes, this African queen, honey. Listen, I love it. I love it. Bozoma did her big one this season with her dress. I mean, I think she did accent and bring in a lot of African designers. So we're gonna give her big ups to that. Just kind of, using her representation, and again, being a marketing genius, I would say, sounds like at least. I think she knows how to use this platform and to highlight more African American people of color, to highlight a lot of more designers and different things, businesses and stuff that way. But yes, this look, I love it. I love it head to toe. I love her hair. I love the jewelry. I love the dress. This is a 10. This is a 10 for me. Bozema knocked it out the park, as she has done most all this season. Yes, she is. Yeah, she's that girl. Okay, here we go with Erica Jane. Erica Jane, subtle, simple. Listen, it's on the color palette. I mean, it's not spectacular, but I like it. So we're gonna give Erica about a. We're gonna give her. I'm going between 6 and 7. I don't know. Should we give her a 7? I don't know. I felt like, listen, she been through a lot. She might have lost a lot, made her head to sell a lot. So maybe she ain't got a lot. Because I feel like she should have came with a little bit more, you know? But it's nice. It's nice. 6. 6. We're going to settle with a 6. Yeah. 6. Drop down in the comments. Tell me what you think. Do we agree? 6. Okay, next up. Next up, we have Kyle, okay? The anchor and the face of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, the one that everybody wants to be her friend, honey. It is Kyle. What is her last name? Oh, how is it that I Richards? Yes, there we go. I'm like, how is it that I will forget that? Anyway, I like this. I like it. Kyle usually does pretty nice. One thing I'll say about Kyle, and I think maybe it's because of all of her years, you know, being in Beverly Hills and that just kind of being the lifestyle. Kyle kind of keeps it pretty, I wouldn't say necessarily simple, but I would say she doesn't really deviate from her general style. Her hair is good. She, you know, kind of keeps it about the same. Dress is nice. We're gonna give Kyle an 8. Just because, yeah, it's nice. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's better than nice, right? Because nice was a 6, right? That's what we gave, or that's what I gave Erica. But this is cool. We can work with this. Go, Kyle. Okay, and next up is, last but not least, honey, is Miss Garcelle. Now, I really like this look. Um, it is kind of giving me bridal. I like the gloves. Clearly, the beading is getting stuck to everything, which, if you watch the reunion, you'll see her and Sutton have a moment where they get stuck together. It's kind of funny because at the same time, they're discussing their friendship and how everybody kind of didn't like it. And was talk about how close they was. And so it's like, oh crap, now we stuck together. And it was kind of funny. Not necessarily cute, but more funny. Anyway, back to the look. But Garcelle did her damn thing with this one. Now listen, I know I gave Bozema a 10. Let's see. Is Garcelle getting a 10 too? Garcelle got a 10. Garcelle got a 10. Girl, you got it. Girl, you got it. Yes. Go on with the 10s. Yes, honey. Garcelle gets a 10. Okay, now, like I said, tell me if y'all agree, okay, with my choices for the reunion looks. Drop down in the comments. Let me know what you are rating these reunion looks. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Help me get to those 1,000 subscribers, guys. Yay. Thank you in advance. And make sure you like this video. If you like this video, or when you like my video, it doesn't just support my channel, but it helps support your channel, and it will bring you other channels that talk about some of the same content that I am talking about. So make sure you like this video, okay? And if this is more than your first time here, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell notification, okay? That way you'll know when I go live, okay? So let's get into this reunion. Let's get back to it. All right, so let me pull out my notes, y'all, real quick, so we can jump right into it. But like I said, listen, by the time we was ending and breaking on this reunion, honey, I know Garcelle said, what the what? She was totally blindsided. She did not expect what those girls had in their chamber for her. It is given that they teamed up. It's given that, because when we get down to it, I mean, I don't know what else you call that. I don't know what else you call that. You drop down in the comments and tell me what you saw. All right, let's see. All right, so the reunion opens up. Of course, most times the reunions are going to open up with everybody arriving, pulling up, getting out, getting to their spots. That's what we see. Nothing's changed with that. It looks like Sutton went into Bo's room to give her a reunion gift, and I guess maybe Garcelle got something too because she pulled out what looks like to be an adult toy. And she's like, "Oh, I got one. I'm gonna use it." So I don't know. I'm thinking maybe that was from Sutton as well. Andy, we see Andy kind of going around asking a few of the housewives little questions, So we see him asking Kyle what she expects others to share versus what it is that she shares. And so she just kind of says that what's interesting again, remember I told you this is before they walk out and start to talk, okay? So she says that she just feels like they are always complaining about what she is showing, and she feels like she's shown all of her life, and yet they don't really get too personal with what they share. Um and so he says, "Oh, okay." Um, we see Garcelle questioning whether her and Kyle are really good. So she's talking to Sutton in her dressing room, and she was saying that she ran into TMZ, and TMZ was telling her about a comment Kyle made, which was saying like they were good. And so she's like, "Well, are we good?" Now, okay, remember that when they film the reunion, they usually film it mid-season or a little bit past mid-season. So they get the other episodes to watch ahead of time so that when they're filming, they can talk about the whole thing, of course, because the reunion is airing after the episodes. Okay. So for this reason, Garcelle is, basically on defense. I guess she hasn't heard from Kyle. And so she's like, she not knowing how Kyle feels about the rest of the episodes that she saw. So she was talking to Sutton and she's like, well, kind of like in that sinister, like, well, are we good? So we see Erica and Kyle catching up before. Erica is asking Kyle if she watched all the episodes. Kyle is saying that, well, I went backwards up, and I don't know. She's making it sound a little laxy daisy, like really she did. She's watching them, but she didn't finish, type of thing. And Erica's like, I think you need to finish. And so Kyle's like, well, I really don't want to. Like, I think that it's the episode where she no, that's actually before then. So I can't remember. It's some episode she doesn't want to see herself be upset, it seems like. But anyway, um, so they kind of, as she's talking about it, they kind of poke fun at Sutton having to leave the reunion last year for getting sick, but she kind of poke fun like they really want to leave early. So Kyle's like, well, I'll like faint, and Erica's like, and I'll go with you, to the hospital. And so they kind of laugh at that. Um, we did do we already went through the reunion looks. Um Oh, Dorit tells Andy that she is leaving it all on the stage because we see Andy go check in with Dorit and ask her like what things she was looking forward to getting out today. And she's like, everything. I'm leaving it all on the stage. Okay, so everybody comes out. They look wonderful. We went over the looks again. Drop down in the comments and tell me what you rate the reunion looks. Okay. So Andy speaks to everyone as he does, go one by one, catches up with them. Both is feeling great, unlike anyone else around the stage. Andy asks everyone if they have any intentions for the day. Kyle brings up that she wants to leave feeling better than she did when she arrived and with clarity. Garcelle follows up with, by seconding what Kyle had to say. And I thought this was quite interesting as well, but also saying that hopefully they would have some revelations and be able to discuss some things and also be able to take a cast photo. As we know, they were not able to get a cast photo because Garcelle did leave the reunion early. So interesting that was the intent, but honey, they pissed her off so bad she had to get the hell up out of there. And I don't blame her because, like I said, baby, they was ready. honey, I don't know where they went to meet last night. Mr. Childs, New Boo, one of their secret society restaurants, but baby, they went up in there, had one of them New Jack City one of them New Jack City meetings, and came out ready to tear Garcelle's head off, basically. Basically, that's exactly what they came to do. So Andy starts with Dorit and her package. Basically, her storyline this season has been her separation from PK. She made it her business to make sure to tell us that PK is an alcoholic. She said it about umpteen times this season, even though he has different scenes where he's kind of saying the same thing. I think there's a particular scene where Mauricio was asking him, like, well, what happened? And he's like, "Oh, I got sober." I thought that was odd. I thought it was odd that that was the first thing that she said, because it was just the first time we had heard it. And not to say that that means anything. People hide stuff, especially on reality TV. They hide stuff all the time. Things get edited out. Maybe they had talked about it before and it just didn't get shown. I don't know, but I agree with Sutton later on in the conversation. Sutton kind of chimes in and tells her that it seemed like she had threw PK under the bus. And I would have to agree with that, because that is what it seemed like. But we see her package. So the first thing they really address is the fact that Dorit lights up a cigarette in one of her scenes in the car. She had just got off the phone, or I think came from a meeting or something like that with PK, and she gets in the car and lights up a cigarette. And Andy is talking about how Twitter, like just went crazy, which she was very surprised, and I kind of giggled at that too, because listen, I would be surprised and how many of the housewives actually do smoke. But of course, none of them do that on television. And a lot of times, listen, you probably can't, to be quite honest. So not for nothing. Networks and stuff probably give some type of fine for that. That if you don't, that's the reason why no cigarette commercials and things like that don't exist anymore. But so I was saying, so it's really interesting that this thing that, people really try to hide, because smoking is kind of made to be like, I don't know, such a gross thing. It seemed to kind of give her a couple cool points. So she was really shocked about that. What else happened? Let me go back to my notes real quick, y'all. Oh, Andy asked her, has she always been a smoker? She kind of says that she had been a social smoker, but we're going through everything now. She's kind of more of a stress smoker. And so of course they brought up, like, well, did you forget the cameras are around? Like, I think Kyle's like, I assume they're gonna see everything. She's like, well, I assume they're gonna see everything. She's like, at the time, I just really didn't give a damn. I was mad, needed a cigarette. I lit up. Okay. And okay, as a fellow smoker, don't judge me. I understand where you're coming from, Miss Dorit. Um, what else happened, y'all? Let's see. Okay, so then, Andy, now listen, I don't know who or where these questions be coming from and who decides to pick them, but baby, these questions was messy. They started off messy. So Andy is basically asking a question pertaining to it was pertaining to if Kyle thought that Dorit was coming in hot. And so Kyle answers the question by saying, like, yeah, like she thought that maybe she was doing a lot, to have a storyline this season. Dorit kind of calls herself clapping back, like, well, look, if I needed to keep my job, you would be the first to know, because, you have the relationships with the execs and things. So you would be the one to know if I needed to keep my job or not. And once I got called back, you knew I was coming back. So why would you think that I needed to make up something, to keep my job? Kyle really didn't give her an answer to that. I was like, it was kind of like a half clap back, because I get where Dorit's coming from. Dorit's like, but the way that Kyle left it, Kyle was leaving it like, yeah, like basically that's what I'm saying. Like, you do need to watch out for your job. I don't know. That's the way I took it. Tell me what y'all think. Did you watch? Tell me. Okay, so Next, we discussed Dorit and her choices to basically keep her separation from the kids, her separation from PK from the kids. She decided she didn't really want to let them in on it. So they kind of talk about like, has she changed her mind about that? She has not. Andy decides to ask Sutton because Sutton got a divorce with a young child, and decided to do the same thing. So he kind of wanted to get Sutton's perspective, which Sutton's like, well, if she could do it again, she wouldn't do it that way. And a lot of it is about just kind of having honesty with your kids so that they can trust you. Um, and I guess that makes sense, but I get where Dorit is coming from. Just because I think for her, it's more about once you start to talk to the kids about stuff like that, it's the questions and the things you have to say after that, and trying to figure out like, is this something at this age that they are, do we want to get into that, especially when you're coming from a place of wanting to be honest and open. It's just so honest and open. I think you can be with your kids as it pertains, especially to your partner that's their parent. Because I think they're two separate relationships. There's a parent-child relationship, and then there's a relationship that's between the two of you that have nothing to do with the kids. But that's an interesting thing. So I'd be looking forward to seeing what y'all think about that. Like, what do you think? You think you should mention something, or should you be really cautious about what it is you do mention? Or should you just not say anything at all? Tell me what y'all think, okay? And make sure you subscribe to my channel, okay? So Dorit says she doesn't have any remorse about it, and she is moving full steam ahead with the way that she decides to press forward. And we have nothing to say about that, Miss Dorit. Those are your children. You are allowed to decide that that is best for them. Dorit does admit to still being in love with PK. PK sends a statement instead of coming to the reunion. Okay. Now, in this statement, this is what he says. I was invited to be a part of the reunion, but declined because I don't believe in engaging with Dorit in this forum would be constructive. Dorit has made several mischaracterizations about me, but the one I must address is the claim that I am a bad father. That statement is both heartbreaking and false. It is deeply hurtful to me and, more importantly, to our children, who, despite Dorit's assertion, will inevitably see and hear all of this at a time not of our choosing. Those closest to us know the truth. Many have wanted to speak out, but I have asked them not to because the truth should never need a champion. I refuse to stroke a fire I did not ignite. The Dorit I married would never have allowed this, much less caused it. That woman embodied kindness, integrity, and grace. And I can only hope this version of Dorit finds her way back to the person she once was. Signed off, PK. I thought it was kind of arrogant. Listen, I don't know. That was his statement. That's what he decided to say instead of showing up to, I guess, say it to her face. In one way, I understand if they're going through a divorce, it could be contentious. Maybe he's trying to do the best that he can to just sever ties, the ties that can be severed. Like, we do have to raise these kids, we do have to co-parent, which according to Dorit, they aren't doing much of. He gets them on Saturday nights if he's in town. That's what she said. So maybe that's what he's doing. And we know how those rich guys are. I feel like they just have a way of moving, and a lot of it is like just cut off. And poor Dorit she's in a firestorm, and I don't think that she knows that she's even in it. It's like maybe she's like Dorothy in the Wizard of Oz or something. So that conversation kind of leads to the conversation of let me see. Leads to the conversation of Kyle kind of thinking, um that, like Dorit maybe did mischaracterize PK and kind of seemed to come to his defense a little bit. And Dorit is upset about that. Sutton chimes in about how it looked, like I said, about Dorit kind of throwing PK under the bus. Basically, they're kind of responding to his statement about, feeling like he had been mischaracterized. Um, and so part of that, I think Sutton started to ask her, or no, Andy asked Sutton about a financial accountant and if she was worried about Dorit as that was concerned. And so she said, yeah, she's worried about Dorit. Dorit's like, you gotta like me to worry about me. Like, girl, please. And so Sutton's now kind of going off like, well, do who's on the mortgage, whose name's on the mortgage? And she's like, well, Dorit's telling her like, well, that's not important. And I'm thinking, well, actually it is, Dorit. It's funny when you see these people get into arguments and they arguing about something and the other one is just really not hearing her. But it's like, girl, like, you arguing and you look crazy because, yeah, girl, you do need to know whose name on the deed. And then that brings Andy to asking Dorit about reports that our house was in pre-foreclosure. So she's like, oh, yeah, it was, but it's not now. PK, I had to talk to PK about it. And he said that something happened with the rates. They went up and he needed to talk to the people, but they wouldn't call him back. And he's not paying until they call him back. And Bozema was like, well, he said, no, PK said that's the way he do business. And Bozema says, well, that's the way you lose the house. And to all of our recollection, that is the way you lose a house. What you mean? They need to call me. Like, excuse me, don't you got a loan out to us? Boy, if you don't send us our money. But she said it's all taken care of. But here's the thing. This is what Sutton is talking about. And that's the problem sometimes with the messages coming from certain messengers. Like, you're never going to get through to a person because they've already made their minds up that you don't have anything to offer. And so no matter what it is you say, they're not listening. And so that's what we see here because Dorit, knock, knock, knock. You might want to listen to her. This lady is getting $350,000 a month. Like, you went and crawled up Bozema's hind part, and you should have went over there to Sutton's because it sounds like Sutton might be able to actually give you some good information you can use. I mean, Bozema been married before, but her husband unfortunately passed away on her, so she did not have to go through a divorce and fight her husband and come out on top from that. But Sutton did, and Sutton got a nice pretty penny. So did Jennifer Tilly. So again, if you was going to listen to anybody, I think that you should open your ears up to those ladies because they do have some valuable information for you. But Dorita's gonna fake it till she make it. She gonna cut her nose off to spite her face, honey, and she is gonna cuss you out in the process, okay? Because that's exactly what she did on this episode. So yeah, so like I said, Dorit lets her know that PK sees the kids on Saturday nights. That's if he is in town. Of course, she's already let us know that he is barely in town. So listen, PK is out here living his best life, his best possibly sober life, because he also told Dorit that they will not be discussing his sobriety. I don't think he liked her getting on TV, telling everybody he was he was an alcoholic. And I do think it's something against that. Now, y'all jump in the comments and tell me. Now, are you supposed to out people as an alcoholic only if they are in AA, or if they've never gone to AA, it's okay? Let me know. I do want to know about that because I do think it's a difference. So let me know. So really, I think that's what we wrap up with Dorit. Erica asked Dorit if she's scared. Dorit states, basically like, yeah, she's like this life that, she thought she would have. She's really realizing that that is not the way it is about to be. It's not going to end that way. And I guess that's a lot for her to wrap her mind around. Andy did ask her if part of the problem between her and PK had to do with her extravagant outfits and, those things. And she said possibly yes. She kind of implied that PK have low self-esteem, be a little jealous. Listen, I think you were spending too much money. And I think that he won out. And yeah, he put you on the Kelsey and Camille grammar plan. All right, trading you in for another one. So sorry, Dorit. I mean, but you're in Beverly Hills, you're in good company. You'll find plenty of them that know the story and they know how it go, which is why you should open your ears up and listen. Anyway, moving on. Now listen, let's just note that Garcelle and Sutton, they doing just fine. They kikiing a little bit because again, Garcelle has no idea what is waiting for her. Okay. All right. The next segment is Bozema. We go to Bozema. We see, all of her segment package they put together of her throughout the season. Andy asks if she had watched the season prior to coming. She does admit that she had. Um, she was saying that she thought the show was like exaggerated, like the stuff that she was watching. She's thinking, like most of us probably, it's like, oh, there's no way that this is. And she's like, being a part of it, she realized like that it's not. Like this stuff is really real. She understands that the time that they spend together, they become engulfed in each other's lives. And so, yeah, like they do get passionate about each other and about things. Andy asked her about losing her home in the recent LA fire. So she talks about that a little bit. Beautiful home. We did get to see it on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And yeah, it just sucks when somebody's worked really hard for something and like she said, and now it's just kind of gone. She's like, she just really hates that she lost it in that way. um Andy does ask her about her relationship with Keely. She does admit, she does say to everybody they have said I love you to each other because, of course, the weird thing that was happening this season with her and her relationship was the fact that they were going to start infertility treatments to have a baby, but had never said I love you to each other. And I think that everybody saw that as a red flag. Like, wait a minute, hold on, what's going on? So she did make sure to let us know that they have said I love you. And they are moving straight ahead with the plans to have a baby. So hopefully if she is able to do that, she will be announcing a pregnancy sometime soon. They move on to Bose's friendship with Dorit, which really got under everybody's skin this season. Now listen, Dorit needed a friend this season, and not just because she is going through what she's going through with PK, but because she didn't have any friends anywhere else on the cast. I mean, her and Sutton go at it like cats and dogs. Her and Kyle were at odds. And her and Garcelle, they kind of, yeah, they like nice nasty with each other. So she really didn't have anybody. So this is the reason. And it's funny that Bozema is so smart. And I wonder which seasons did she watch? Because if you watched the last season, you would know exactly why that lady ran up to you and just like vomited all, like she just did a total emotional dump on her at Bozema's first scene, like her first introduction. Here's Dorit, like, hi, my name is Dorit, I'm getting a divorce, PK is an alcoholic and I don't have any friends. And I mean, she just laid it all down. And so her and Bozema just really became tight after that. I mean, again, Dorit needed a friend. Bozema was a friend. And it rubbed up everybody the wrong way for Bozema to really just kind of come in and take Dorit's side. Now, I will say, listen, I like the loyalty that Bozema is showing, but I do have to say, I don't necessarily like the way she makes very strong statements about situations, and I don't think that she waits to get the full understanding. It does seem like she's making the judgment off of like one point of view. And I don't think I like that. I don't think I like that. She also, her and Kyle talk about their non-existent friendship. Kyle tries to remind Bozema of the times that they've had conversations. Bozema can't remember. So she tells Kyle that like that basically they just haven't had a rememberable conversation, like, and she's sorry about that. So now they move on, and I don't know if they quite moved on to Gal. I can't really tell. I think they did, because this is where it hits the fan for Garcelle. Andy asks Erica what she meant when she said she wanted to see something more personal from Garcelle. And I guess this is a question coming from the audience. Erica answers, and she's telling Garcelle, like, well, I wish you would have more personal story. Like, we want to know who you in a relationship with. And so Garcelle was like, look, shit, I wish I had more to, give. Like, it's nothing going on. I work hard. I spend time with my kids when I can. Like, that's what you're seeing. Like, ain't nothing going on. And so Erica ends with, like, well, I guess I wish she was just more interesting, which boom, like there go the first shots fired, right? I guess I wish it was just more interesting. All right, shots fired. Then we go over to Kyle, which, listen, Garcelle, one thing about her, and two things for sure, she is going to stick to the agenda. Okay. And I like that about Garcelle. Okay. So you keep doing that, which now she ain't gonna be with these girls, but you keep doing that wherever you go. Stick to the agenda. But Kyle chimes in to second the emotion of Erica about Garcelle having more personal story and constantly asking her different questions about her life and telling her like they want to know the truth. And I get it. Like, listen, Kyle got a bone, and the bone that she got, I can't say that she's just picking from nowhere. The reason why I say that is just because listen, because I don't generally take up for Kyle, but it's kind of like oh shoot, I just lost my train of thought, y'all. Because what am I trying to say about what Kyle is doing? Basically, Garcelle is trying to okay, Garcelle wants to know what is going on with Kyle and her relationship with Morgan. Kyle is not trying to talk about Morgan. Kyle basically has tried to ask everybody to not bring up Morgan. Garcelle confronts Kyle specifically about this because she's like, well, I'm a little confused because she was on, but now all of a sudden we can't talk about her. We see y'all out in the tabloids, but you don't want us to talk about her. Kyle's like, listen, I'm trying to respect this girl's privacy. She didn't sign up for this show, so listen, I'm trying to keep that separate. Garcelle is like, hey, she did sign up for the show because she was here last year. And Kyle is like, yeah, but she's not here this year. Like, she changed her mind. So this is what I mean by Garcelle is sticking to the agenda. And it seems like that's an agenda that Garcelle and Sutton discuss. Like, listen, which is what they were doing all season as well. This is why it was surprising that Garcelle and Sutton came in on good terms, because Sutton really hasn't had Garcelle's back. Not the way Garcelle has had Sutton's back, okay? And I got my own separate opinion about that, honey, because Garcelle had no business teaming up with Sutton. But listen, I understand why they were on the outs, because Sutton ain't got a friend. Listen, Garcelle was tired of fighting with these girls. They was kindred. It was a friendship of convenience that turned out to be a nice little cute kiki. But listen, after that wallet comment, honey, get the hell away from me, because I can't be your friend. Anyway, back to what was going on at this reunion. So again, Kyle and Garcelle are going back and forth because Kyle's just really trying to understand, like, yeah, why can't I ask you about Morgan? Why are you getting upset about it? Then she says, and she's like, and then on the after show, this is Garcelle talking to Kyle about the after show. After the episode aired, they went to Chuck E. Cheese, and Garcelle made a comment to Kyle, straight to Kyle's face, that like, hey, if you just want to be a lesbian, just be a lesbian. And it didn't seem like she was being facetious. I think she was it did seem like she was, as a friend, wanting to give Kyle permission to like let her guard down. She's like you know, she was kind of it was like, hey, like, look, if you think you like this girl and you just want to go and do that, like, go and do it. You know, like, ain't nobody tripping. But Kyle on the after show said that she really thought that Garcelle was an a-hole for saying that. So Garcelle, you know, took that offensively. Like, well, we laughed about it then, but then on the after show, here you is talking about I'm an a-hole. So Cal is like, well, yeah, because that was an a-hole move. Like, I don't think you are a-hole, but that was an a-hole move. So she was like, so Garcelle says, no, Kyle reminds Garcelle that there was something that they spoke about off camera. So Garcelle is like, yeah, why did you come and have that conversation with me off camera? Like, Garcelle really wanted her, I guess, to have that conversation on camera. So Kyle said, because I thought you was my friend. Which they take a break, and when it comes back, it's picking up with that. That's what she said. I thought you was my friend, and I wanted to explain to you like what was happening. So I'm guessing off camera, maybe she gave her a better explanation that she's not trying to tell the rest of us about why, you know, she's not talking about Morgan, which she must have did that at Chuck E. Cheese, because Garcelle then says to Sutton, she says, well, when she told us what she said off camera, what did you say? Sutton says, well, I understood why she didn't want us to bring up Morgan. And so I just said that that was her choice. And so Garcelle said, that is not what you said. You said that it was a chess move. Sutton is like ready to just, you know, the Homer Simpson meme where he go back into the bushes. Sutton could have disappeared if she had the option to right there, because she could not believe Garcelle just outed her and threw her under the bus like that. So we see that happen, right? Then here comes Erica. Oh, excuse me, before I move on to that. So like I said, Sutton is floored, right? So and Garcelle is kind of looking at Sutton like, girl, please. So then here comes Erica just asking Garcelle, like, hey, Sutton's allowed to, you know, have a different opinion. Like, you don't always need her to back you up, do you? See, there we go again. There go another shot fired. Pow, pow, pow. The third person. Listen, baby, the way they came for Garcelle's head, oh my goodness. So here come Erica, like, well, you don't need her to take up for you all the time. So Erica, I mean, Garcelle's like, no, I don't need her to take up for me. And then, you know, so she answered that like basically, no, I don't need her to take up for me. But she caught that little air, you know, like of what she was trying to put out there. So then here comes Andy asking another question, asking to Dorit, how does she feel about Garcelle's comments about the break-in in her home, which Garcelle feels like she told Sutton, had a conversation with Sutton. She's like, I don't think Dorit had anything to do with that break-in, but I think somebody did, basically implying that it might have been some sort of setup. And so I feel like Garcelle, dog with a bone, she's felt that way from the beginning, and she's never deviated from that. And that's been the kind of like acts between her and Dorit's relationship, because Dorit ain't upping with him. And I think Garcelle is okay with that. Anyway, but baby, what he asked Dorit that for? Because it gave Dorit permission to just go clean off. Of course, y'all know, if you've been listening to any of my videos, you know that I just don't like when a person uses like the tiniest, tiniest fact to go like all the way over to the moon and back. And that's exactly what Dorit did. Like, how dare you? I couldn't believe you would say something like that. You must think my husband is a monster. If you think, or not a monster, because excuse me, you the one told us he was a monster. Look, what's the other word people don't like being called? Psychotic. Not psychotic. What's the other word? Like a psycho, like whatever that is. That's what she said. You must think my husband is that if he would, like set up something to happen while my kids are in the house. I mean, even Andy is just sitting there, but it was kind of like she just went there, like basically, like you are a disgusting human being. And I'm talking they had to, if we saw like a minute and a half of it, that must have went on for about 5 minutes. And listen, Garcelle was not like trying to argue back with her. She was like, look, that's how I feel. I'm not changing it. Doree's like, where would you even get that from? She's like, my instinct, like, like, yeah, instinct telling me, girl, y'all lying. Listen, and funny enough, it's been a lot of people in the comments that say the same thing ever since that happened. Like they think that was a setup. But listen, Dorit went way off the handle and was PO'd about it. And really, I'm gonna use the phrase she ripped Garcelle a new one, not literally like her, like it wasn't this wordsmith wordplay like, oh, she read Garcelle, so not in that way, and please don't take it that way. But what I am saying is like she had a verbal word salad. As to, oh, I couldn't believe you would talk about my family and you would think that we would do something like that. And it just went on and on and on. And Garcelle took it, Garcelle took it. No, listen, Sutton didn't say one word. Oh, so after Dorit does that, Bose chimes in. Okay, pow, 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 pow. Bose chimes in, and she's like, "Yeah, I really think that was very those comments are really disgusting, and like you really should be careful about when you make comments like that, without any proof behind it." So there she is. Okay, and I know that Garcelle could have just flip that whole table over. Okay, that little bitty table that's right there in the middle. I know she could have got up and flipped it all over and got the hell up out of Dodge. Um, and really, this is kind of wrapping up onto when they are going to take a lunch break. So all the ladies break for lunch. They're leaving the set. Sutton's telling Kyle, like, oh my God, everybody hates me. I don't know where she got that from, which is what Kyle said. And Kyle is like, you ain't even started. Like, your package ain't even came up. And Kyle seems to know, like, baby, we are gunning for Garcelle. So maybe you can sit back on this one. But Sutton's like, oh, they all hate me. They all hate me. Um, Garcelle is going back and she's like, oh my goodness. We hear her on the mic saying, like, I had no idea, like, I would be in the hot seat. Nobody did, including the producers and Andy, because girl, you are sitting in the last seat. So nobody thought those girls was coming for you the way they did. And baby, they are coming. Garcelle saw the white writing on the wall, and she was probably just sick of the writing on the wall because they've been giving her a hard time the whole time she's been there. Especially Dorit. And listen, it's kind of like what I look at now. Garcelle handled herself well. She handled herself way better, much better than Ebony K. Williams. But that's what I saw in the in that. I saw that same kind of thing with Ebony K. Williams and the ladies over at New York Housewives, the way that they clashed. That's what I saw with the ladies here in Garcelle. Garcelle is blackity black, black, black. And that doesn't mix with them, and not because they don't acknowledge or not because they don't know that black people exist. It's not even that. It's just I feel like when people are in a certain class of money, it ain't even about it. Actually, like I am not going to say that people don't see color because I know that that's not true. But it kind of just becomes more about your class. And like, where are you able to be in these rooms? If you're able to be in these rooms, then fine. You know what I mean? Like nobody cares about the other part. And so I think you see more of that in those spaces, and yet Garcelle is blackity black, 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 and that don't work for her. And she gonna call you out as she has done, and as I'm proud of her for doing. And she's had it with class, grace, and she's taking it like a champ. We haven't seen her get out of character. Um, and so yeah, I think she served very well on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And so again, as they walk off, like I said, we hear her talk about how she felt blindsided, sudden rushes over to Garcelle's dressing room to make sure and see if she's okay. Garcelle's going off. She's like, Erica telling her she's not interested. She's like, F her. She kind of had this scene at the end where it was like, that's a read, honey, because she's like, yeah, I married for love, or my divorce took place before I got on the show, and I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth, and like all of these other things and other circumstances these other ladies are in, and they're asking for her to give more personal story. What she's saying is, I'm not in these situations. She's not going through divorce because she's already divorced. Um, you know, she's not married to somebody who, scammed, mothers and children out of millions of dollars. So she's not going through, her husband being uh um uh charged, with fraud and felony counts of wire fraud and all of that, being disbarred from the legal bar association. And it, like I say, it was a clap back, it was a read, but you could really, really tell that Garcelle was defeated. And listen, my mouth was on the floor. Like, I didn't expect it. I don't know where it came from, but baby, they headed out for Garcelle. Listen, that's all I got right now. I'll come back and hit y'all up with part two. I don't know if I'll do part two and part three separate, or if I'll wait and do part two and three together. But I'll come back and give y'all part two and part three some kind of way. Make sure you are subscribed to my channel. If you've been here this long, listen, like the video, okay? It don't cost you nothing. Just like the video. Help me get to 1,000 subscribers by subscribing to my channel. Do it now. Hit the bell notification so you can know when I go live. And that's all I got for now. Listen, drop down in the comments. Let me know what y'all thought about this episode of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, season 14, reunion part 1. All right, y'all. Have a good night.